We are the Hit Squad here on ESPN 101. Now, I want to talk about, of course, the main card coming up. We have predictions. Jesse's 27-11. I'm 23-15, and we're going to get to those in a second. Those will be free on Fox. Can't beat that, coming out of Seattle, and that's happening this Saturday, which is July 27th. But some, I think, groundbreaking stuff coming out of Florida here, and this is something we wanted to talk about. There's a lot of support for these special needs, disabled, whatever you want to call them. Garrett Hove and David Steffen. Now, they're going to be in the mixed martial arts. They're getting in the cage on August 3rd in Florida, and the reason this is big is Hove has Down syndrome, and Steffen has mild cerebral palsy. So obviously, it's, it's very, I think, groundbreaking in some aspects, and I would love to know what you guys as fans have to say about this. Always hit us up. HitSquad@101sports.com is the email. Twitter handle is @HitSquad101ESPN. Now, of course, the Special Olympics and stuff, a lot of times they're running track and throwing shot put and discus. This is much different, obviously, because of the contact. And you're taking two kids who would probably, be like in the Special Olympics, but now they're in a contact sport. I don't think the Special Olympics has like boxing or anything in that. So what are your thoughts and feelings on this, first off?
First of all, if you want a heartwarming story, you can Google Garrett, because it's going to bring a tear to your eye. I'll tell you that. What do I think about it? I think Florida is the perfect state to do something like this in. And the reason I say Florida is the perfect state for that is because there's so much about safety. The kids and the amateurs have to wear shin guards. They have to wear, don't quote me on this, I want to say 6-ounce gloves. Okay. Or, excuse me, 8-ounce gloves.
Okay, well, that would make sense, yes.
So it's an extremely, very monitored. I mean, it's over the top a little bit. For if it was happening in the state of Missouri where they're wearing 6-ounce gloves, it's not as much. No headgear, no shin guards. This is the amateurs, so don't forget that.
Right.
And first and foremost with the amateurs, it's about safety. Well, first and foremost in the state of Florida is beyond safety, and it's over the top. So this is good. What do I think of it overall? I think it's wonderful, because I got to tell you something. This is what about mixed martial arts is about. And it's not just about, punching people in the face or armbarring people or choking people or out wrestling people. It's about attitude, discipline, and a lot of respect. And there's a lot of respect that goes into this with these two kids. I mean, these kids, it's going to be monitored. It's in a cage. They have, professional referees. They're guys that this is what they do for a living. And here's the thing. This is an amateur sport. So first and foremost, if the kid starts to get hurt, they're going to stop the fight. Right. Okay, so this is just like if any other amateur fight, that you have to be your safety first. And this kid, you understand something. For this kid to walk into the cage and have the spotlight on him, which the kid's probably never had the whole spotlight on him ever in his life. Now all of a sudden he's getting the whole spotlight on him. I think it's wonderful. You know what? I want to make sure that everything is covered. No one's hurt, and you make sure that first and foremost these kids enjoy themselves and they don't get hurt.
Right.
And I think that it's actually it's wonderful. I could probably take some heat for this, but at the same time, I mean, this is a sport, man, and this is a sport like basketball, football, baseball, anything else, and these kids get the opportunity to do this. These two just happen to pick mixed martial arts, and you can't take their dreams and hopes away from them.
And I think it goes without saying, obviously, their guardian has signed off on this.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's not like they're just, doing this on their own or someone is putting them in there. They have their guardian there saying, okay, I want my son to go out there and give this a whirl. And like you said, this is probably the first time they've had the spotlight on them. And for those kids, it's got to be one of the most exciting times of their lives, if not the most exciting.
I tell you what. I will be in Bobby Volker's corner this Saturday night, free on Fox, in front of 4.7 million viewers. Okay, the reason I tell you that,
right?
I train a kid at the gym. His name's Steven Schroeder. He's got Down syndrome. Okay, the kid trains with us 4 days a week. Obviously, he doesn't do all the contact drills, but he trains with us and he works out with us. And we show him the same. If we show him the same respect, he never gets to sit down when we're training. He trains with 8 to 12 professional fighters a day. And I tell you what, this makes his kid's world. And if you ask me to this day, probably the most rewarding thing that I've done in the sport of mixed martial arts is to see this kid come and train with us on a daily basis. And to see this kid walk through the door, and let me tell you something, he is, it takes a little extra patience. It does. Yeah. And at the same time, I'm running guys that are in the UFC, and then I got a kid that's got Down syndrome. And you have to have the same patience with him as you do with the other professionals. he never gets in the way. He trains his little butt off, and every day he works just as hard as everybody else. And I tell you what, if you really want something that it's going to be a heartwarming story here, I mean, come to our gym anytime. You're more than welcome. He's there 3:30 to 5:30 Monday through Thursday. And I tell you what, I mean, this is it's awesome. So I mean, I'm fully supportive of it. And I'm looking forward to see, hopefully this can lead into bigger and better things for the Special Olympics and kids that want to try mixed martial arts.
Do you think that he'll ever get a shot to get in the octagon? Has he expressed interest in
Oh my
doing
gosh,
that?
has he expressed interest?
So, this is something
there's a lot of kids that are into this. A lot of the kids also are into professional wrestling. A lot of the kids are it's just the nature of the beast. They're a boy. You know,
right,
he's a boy, and it's not to say if you're a girl you're not into it, but a lot of the boys really are. So I mean, it's a neat thing. Do I see him getting in the cage anytime soon? Well, if he continues to go with the progress he's into right now, we'll talk about his family after that.
Oh, yeah, very interesting. Very good stuff. And, of course, we want to hear what you have to say. Once again, I got to throw it up there. The Hit Squad at 101sports.com. That is our email. Twitter handle at HitSquad101ESPN. All right, now it's time to get down to the nitty-gritty. We're talking about the predictions. UFC free on Fox happening this weekend, Seattle, Washington. You're going to be there in Bobby Volker's corner, but I want to start with the flyweights. Demetrius Johnson, just read a whole thing on ESPN.com about him. He's had a son, or I'm sorry, I think he's had a kid. I'm not sure if it's a boy or a girl. I think it is a boy, but he is motivated after watching Anderson Silva lose not to let that happen to him.
I love it.
Yeah, he says, this is how I'm going to make my living. So I really think he's going to fight inspired. It's going to be interesting. And we're going to pick this here shortly. We'll get to that. But Jonathan Moraga, he's a great adversary here.
He's no chump, and he's the guy that says, hey, man, I'm the guy that nobody knows. Well, you're going to learn who I am on Saturday night. So that'll be interesting to see what happens. I love Demetrius Johnson. I like the way he fights. Mighty Mouse is always in your face, and most of these guys at the 125 are usually in your face. But we'll see how that fight goes.
It'll be interesting.
I'm not giving you all my...
I'm not asking for them,
You're
baby.
trying to dig and take my picks. I know what you're doing.
Just so we know, 27-11, 23-15 on the picks, and we're moving to Jake Ellenberger versus Rory McDonald. Now,
Hell of a fight.
Yes, it is.
Hell of a fight.
Boy, Jake is not liking Rory. People are saying he's the next GSP, and Jake is really taking offense to that.
He should.
It'll be... Why?
We'll see.
Okay, we will see. Of course, the breaking news that we brought you here first, I mean, not even an hour after it happened, it's Robbie Lawler versus Bobby Volker. That Volker coming in late after a scratch, and he's going to get a shot at Robbie Lawler. I am so two heavy-handed guys.
Super tough guys.
Yeah, they're going to be toe-to-toe, and haymakers are going to be flying.
Could be Griffin Bonner all over again.
Wow.
It really could be.
Yeah,
you got two guys that are tough to put away, and we'll talk more about it, but, man, I'm excited about that matchup.
Free on Fox this weekend.
We're building fans.
Liz Carmouche, Jessica Andretti. Now, of course, Liz almost dethroned. I mean, she almost threw the
She had her back.
She almost threw
Ronda
the biggest,
Rousey.
Yep, the biggest monkey wrench, I would say, is a bigger than.
Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, than Silva getting knocked out by Wyman. So, I mean, that's interesting to see.
What would have happened?
Oh,
I don't want to get
man.
into all this, but what really would have happened if she would have beat Ronda Rousey?
Well, do you think she would be fighting, or do you think the women would be fighting on the main events, or would they still be?
No, I think so.
You think so?
Yep. She's
It'd be interesting. It would have just thrown.
And she's the first one in the UFC to come out and say she's gay.
Absolutely, she has got that in her corner. So that's
big community there for her.
Absolutely, it's going to be interesting to see. And I'll start it. I'll start with the women, ladies first. I'm going with Liz. I think she looked good from what I saw from Ronda Rousey. I think she's going to try to really build on the momentum that she got from that, and she can't have a hiccup. When it boils down to it, she has to bring her A game. She knows she has to bring her A game, and I think she will.
Well, I tell you this, if you're in the UFC, you better bring your A game every time.
Well, right, absolutely.
So, and Liz Carmouche, man, let me tell you something. Liz Carmouche is an exciting girl, man, and she likes to fight, and she's got good stand-up. She's got good jiu-jitsu. She doesn't have great jiu-jitsu. She's got good wrestling, not great wrestling, but she's good stand-up little girl, man, and she can fight. And I'm gonna go ahead and stick with Liz Carmouche on this one as well.
Isn't she a former Marine?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
former
she's
military.
Marine.
I think that is right. Well, of course, the one that we broke the news on. We were all over that.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Bobby Volker, Robbie Lawler. This one is just fireworks are going to happen toe-to-toe, and you get the first pick, and I have a feeling.
I'll take the first pick, and obviously you're going to think that I'm going to go with Bobby because I'm going to be in his corner, and I've been with him, okay? And I will say this to you, okay? One thing that I always liked about Robbie Lawler, okay, is you're always like, you never know what Robbie is always exciting, devastating, but Robbie Lawler is also the guy that sits like this and plots and plots and plots and plots and plots. I don't see him plotting. I see him coming out and banging, and I think it's going to be a hell of a fight. And I'm also going to go on record to say that I think it's going to go 3 rounds. And I think that Bobby Volker is going to come out on top 29-28. Okay?
He switched it on us.
I know. And I think that it's going to be an exciting fight. But if Bobby can jump on him right away, stay on him, and push the pace, I think that he can win. If Bobby sits back and waits, that's going to be a problem. But let me ask you something. Out of all of Bobby's fights, I think he's got 40-some fights. I've never seen him sit back and wait. So this is going to be, who's going to win in this? The fans.
There you go. Good point.
I mean, really, like at the end of the day, who's going to win this whole grand scheme of thing is the fans, because this could be a Stephan Bonner and Forrest Griffin. This is going to be a hell of a fight.
I am going to go with Bobby as well. I think that he's got a little bit of momentum. He's got a little bit of, he knows he's good. And I just kind of think Robbie Lawler at times is a little unpredictable.
Very unpredictable.
Sometimes he comes out and he looks like the Mike Tyson of MMA. Other times he comes out and you're like, where did the guy go who was fighting on his last fight?
And keep this in mind also, and I say this, we're going with a major underdog here.
Yeah.
We're going with a major underdog here. But at the same time, this is mixed martial arts. These are 4-ounce gloves.
It only takes one.
It only takes one, and Robbie Lawler hits like a truck.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Hits like a truck. But at the same time,
Bobby does too,
and Bobby is going to keep the pedal on the gas tank. And I know Bobby's been training his butt off. He's only had 2 weeks for this fight, but he was in shape when he got the call, so he's ready to roll.
Well, we ran through Jake Ellenberger and his axe to grind against Rory McDonald. I'm going with Jake. I'm going to pick him in this one. I think that he wants...
Man, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm just so excited about this fight.
This is a good fight. Absolutely.
I am just... I'm more excited to go up there just to be able to watch this fight live, because this is a great fight.
Yeah.
This is a great fight. And the reason it is a great fight is Jake Ellenberger is a gamer. Mm-hmm. Jake Ellenberger wins his fights on being a gamer and in your face, and it's going to be fireworks. Okay, Rory McDonald, on the other hand, is GSP's main training partner. He is the biggest 170 I've ever seen in my life. And he doesn't look that big on TV, but when you see him live, he is 6'2", 6'2 and a half. Probably walks at 210. He's a monster of a man. Jake Ellenberger is a really small guy. If Jake Ellenberger can out-wrestle Rory McDonald, he's going to win the fight. But I'm going to go with Rory McDonald on this fight. And I really am, because I think that Rory McDonald could be the next GSP in this. Oh. And he's a guy a lot of people really don't know. But, man, he is a stud. And this is a hell of a fight, man. This is, like I said, who's going to win is the fans. This is free on Fox. We are going to win, the fans.
Well, the final one, again, you got Demetrius Johnson. And, again, someone that people really might know a whole lot about, John Moraga. And it's going to be an interesting fight for sure. You're teed up on this one. You get to pick first, and I want to know who you're going to go with on this one.
I think a lot of people don't know who John Moraga is. I think a lot of people are going to find out who he is after this fight. But I'm going to go ahead with Demetrius Johnson and take him in this one. He's the champion. He's in his hometown. This is going to be you never see a boring 125 fight. So that's the most, when do you ever see one? 125 that's boring. I love the little guys. I love they're going to be in your face, and I'm going to go ahead with DJ on this one.
I'm going to go with him, too. I just think that, like you said, he's the champ. He's in his hometown, and that's, we're going with DJ. So the only one we got different there is I'm going with Jake, and you're going with Rory. That's my only chance to make up some ground.
That's a hell of a fight, man.
It is.
I'm excited for that one. I've been excited for that fight for a long time.
Absolutely. Well, coming up next, we're going to be wreaking havoc. Shamrock Fighting Championships. We're going to be talking to Kenny Porter. He's going to be on the main event. That's coming up next on 101 Sports.